Good morning and welcome to my mat. This morning we're going to take a really quick stretch going through 5 poses that I like to take every single day with a few different options for various levels. And let's get started right away. An optional 2 blocks can be tucked up towards the top, but again, you definitely don't need them. And we'll start on our backs. Right away on the back, let's give the knees a hug in towards the chest, taking hands onto the shins and opening the knees wide around the ribs here. You can take a couple little rocks side to side, letting the low back massage down into the mat. Or if you'd like, you could come into your happy baby here, flexing the feet, showing bottoms of the feet to the sky, grabbing back of thighs, big toes, or outer edges of feet. You can also take those little side-to-side rocks here. And there's always options for other movements in your happy baby, maybe playing with extending a leg, or even extending both, finding a grounded straddle. Taking any little movements here, or you could stay completely still. Let's take about 3-4 more breaths in any variation. Really filling the lungs with that inhale and feeling the body soften with the exhale. Great, last breath here. Great, if you're in your happy baby, let's start to give the knees a hug back in towards the chest, hanging onto the right leg as the left leg stretches out long. We're going to take a twist now with an exhale, taking the right knee across body towards the left. Thinking about your shoulders anchoring down towards the mat here. You can always use a block to support that right leg as well. And if you want a more intense twist, you could come for cat grabbing its tail, where we kick the right leg straight up to the left side. Left hand reaches down to grab that calf or foot. Now our left leg that's extended straight long, we'll squeeze that heel in towards the butt. Right hand reaches to grab that foot. And then we want to re-anchor that right shoulder down. Great, let's take about 3-4 more breaths in your twist. Again, taking nice full breaths here. Great, last breath. And then let's slowly release whichever twist you're in, rolling it back over onto the back. We'll hug the left knee in and stretch the right leg out long. With an exhale, left knee comes across body towards the right, taking this twist over to the other side. Again, you can stay here in this gentle twist. You could have a block to support that left leg. Or you can come into a more intense variation where we kick the left leg straight out to the right side. Right hand reaches for calf or foot. Right heel squeezes in towards the butt so the left hand can capture that foot. And then we try to replace that left shoulder down. Great, whichever twist variation feels good for you right now. Let's take a few more breaths here. Great, last breath here. And then let's slowly release, rolling it back to center on the back. And we're we're going to take it up to a tabletop. You can roll up to the side and press up, or take a little rock up. Tuck the legs off to one side and come forward to all fours, hands and knees. Great, we're gonna go through some cat-cows here. I counted this as just one movement in our 5 poses, because when do you ever take just one of these? With an inhale, let's reach the heart forward, drawing the shoulder blades together down, feeling the back muscles activate. Exhaling to push away from the ground, rounding and contracting. So inhaling to open that up forward. Exhaling to round away, finding space between the shoulder blades. Great, let's take a couple more like this, working through your spine, really connecting your breath to your movement, and maybe even thinking about initiating this movement from the tailbone, letting that ripple up through the spine, so the head is the last part to move in this sequence. Great, let's take 2 more here. Oh my gosh, my voice. Wow. I just woke up, so. All right, starting to bring that back to neutral. With the next inhale, let's kick the right leg back, lifting it up. Exhale, pulls right knee to nose, stepping that through to a low lunge. And if you like, you could grab blocks up under the hands here. In our lunge, we're thinking about the hips facing forward, tucking the tailbone, sending the hips down, opening up through the hip flexor. Great, let's take a couple breaths here in this lunge. And you can always add on in this shape. Maybe make it a lizard lunge, walking the foot out a little wider. And maybe coming down onto the forearms. Flexing the right foot, winging out the knee, sinking the hips down a little more. Or you can always add a quad stretch here as well, where we squeeze the left heel in towards the butt. Either hand can reach back here to make that a twist. And maybe trying to squeeze that in a little further, only as far as feels comfortable and safe for your body, while keeping the hips low. A lot of times I find when I reach back, my hips are like, oh, let's get out of here, but I'm gonna keep it there. Right, so whichever lunge variation you're in, let's take just a couple more breaths. All right, whenever you're ready, start to push into the hands to send the hips back, to step it back to a tabletop position. And we'll take that lunge over to the other side, inhaling the left leg back. Exhale, pulls knee to nose, step it through. And finding that alignment, squaring the hips to the front, tuck the tailbone, send the hips down, any amount. And I'll go through those same options here on this side. You can hang out here, you can have blocks to support your hands. You could make it a lizard lunge, walking that left foot out a little bit wider. Continuing to send the hips down, maybe flexing the foot, winging out that left knee, seeing if you can find some more space here. Or taking that quad stretch, squeezing the right heel in. You could reach back with the same hand, or you could twist, reaching back with opposite hand, but thinking about keeping the hips low here. All right, finding a similar one that you did on the other side, ideally. Take a few more moments to explore. I like to play with opening and closing my hips here as I start to work in a little deeper. Great, last 2 breaths. All right, when you're ready, let's start to push into the hands to lift the hips up, tuck the back toes to lift that knee, and we'll step it right up to a forward fold. Here, letting the knees bend softly, letting the head hang heavy. You can let the hands fall down towards the mat. You could grab for opposite elbows. You could support with blocks. And just taking a forward fold here, starting to lengthen out through the hamstrings. You can remain still. You could take a little sway side to side. There's something I like to do here is come down towards a narrow squat. And then with an exhale, picking the hips back up, re-lengthening out through my hamstrings. Great, taking any movements in your down dog, or not your down dog, your forward fold. And then when you're ready, you'll start to soften into the knees, even more to roll it all the way up to standing. And that is it for this quick, gentle stretch. Thank you for being here, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, we're going to give a like and a subscribe. I do live classes here every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time. We're in now. And I hope to see you there.